Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Taisho Alice, and we are just continuing in the wizard's route, and we are getting close to our end, but I don't think we'll get to it in this part. I feel like we probably will have at least another one after this, maybe two actually, because I was thinking, okay, we'll get close and then maybe the next part, but I feel like Snow White's were out. It was like, okay, we're getting to the end, and then we still had two more parts of all of his kind of backstory stuff. And I feel like we need a lot of the backstory stuff with the wizard, because shit's happening and I don't know, so we'll see. But anyway, we still have one choice left. Sorry, I just swallowed. From there, we went back to my house and I spent my final hours lost in thought. We're not gonna click, apparently. I've been dreaming of you. One day, she begged me to tell her how the other personalities came to be and what lives they'd been living. She listened quietly as I told her. Every now and then she furrowed her brow, but she never got weepy or angry. This surprised me. I knew she liked them, so I figured she'd take pity on them and start crying or something. When I finished the story, she let out a breath. Wow, that's wild. Thanks for sharing. I'd heard bits and pieces, but that was my first time hearing the story in full detail. Thanks to you, I have a slightly better understanding of them now. All I did was answer your question, that's all. I continued to hide behind my mask. It was comfortable back here, and I'd started thinking maybe it'd be fun to make it permanent. Yeah, I know, but I appreciate you responding to me. Her stony expression finally softened, but then it hardened again as she peered into my eyes. Isn't it hard for you? Why would it be? Well, you have all their memories, don't you? I mean, yeah. You carry all the painful memories the others couldn't bear, yet you act like it's no big deal. God, why won't my mouse not click? You're killing me. Well, what choice do I have? I was told to do this. I was built to be resistant to the pain, to be numb. And because of that, I never once pitied any of them. That said, perhaps that was only natural, since I was originally meant to kill them if necessary. By whom? The quack who created me. He's clearly different from the other personalities. He remembers almost everything. He's got all of their knowledge and none of their flaws. He's the closest match to the original. So yeah. I looked at her and found myself lost for words. Tears streamed down her face and fell to the floor. Why are you crying? I was so startled I forgot to impersonate anyone. Because I feel so bad for you. I'd never felt pain, but evidently she could feel mine. From there, I continued to wait until the other personalities were asleep, then slip out of the looking glass world to visit her. At first, she and I rivaled each other at chess, but before long, I started to beat her more and more often. She was a sore loser, so every time it happened, she'd demand a rematch, and that was what kept her coming back. Then one day, I noticed she was feeling down. All throughout our chess match, there was no trace of her usual energy. It was like her mind was somewhere else. How's he been lately? She murmured as she moved her white pawn. Which one? Well, she faltered. I knew exactly what had happened to her. After all, I could access everyone's memories. But I felt this strange discomfort in my chest, so I asked her anyway. Arisu. I walked up in front of her, grabbed her by the shoulders, and pushed her down onto the floor. Then I pressed my lips to hers. Force kiss! Wizard! I forced my tongue into her mouth. I ravaged her and she didn't stop me. Wizard! What the... I did not I didn't expect you to be worse than Gretel. And yet somehow not worse than Gretel, because I love the wizard. But also, wizard! Jesus Christ! Consent is a thing. I mean, I'm assuming he meant ravaged just in kiss. But still, I'm just saying. After a long, long kiss, she looked at me calmly. That's strange. You don't seem any happier. What? You were trying to cheer me up? Of course. Gretel. I know all about it, you know. After all, I've got everybody's memories. Cinderella. I'm them, as they are me. And you told me you loved me. Red Riding Hood. You're amazing, Urisu. You've befriended all of them by putting on the masks they each want you to wear. Snow White. Naturally, I figured I'd try it myself. I mean, like, he's starting to talk like all of them. And it's kind of hard without the voice acting because, like, you get it, like, you're trying to cheer me up. Of course. That was Gretel. I know all about it, you know. After all, I've got everybody's memories. You know what I mean? So he's talking like all of them, but, like, it's the wizard, so I feel like... I wonder if, like, we should come back to one of these scenes and, like, listen to the voice acting and just be like, did he put on the affect of all the other characters, or did the other characters voice these lines? You know what I mean? Like, did Kaguya do this line, you know? Anyway, so I put on a mask to be whatever you fancied. Kaguya. Who do you want? Cinderella or Snow White? I switched through all of them in turn. Until finally... Or perhaps Alice? Just say the word and I can promote myself to any piece on the board. She looks shocked about Alice. Yeah, so I'm thinking, because she said the seventh brother... Alice. They're all characters in Alice's head. They're all Alice's personalities. The wizard is just one of those personalities that was created. Not even the real person. But we're going to get the wizard's route and be like, no, but I'm in love with you. And then Alice is going to come out and be like, okay, so all that shit. They're like, we were in a dream. Nothing was kind of real. Oh, right, we're all other personalities that are Alice. I mean, I just kind of feel like that's where it's going. And I'd be shocked if it was something completely different. And not at all this, because, you know what I mean? I mean, Alice is always kind of a figure in each one of the stories, but he's usually a background character. Like, he's there, he lives in the house, he antagonizes us a little bit, whatever. And then Snow White's, he was there with the wizard, like in that dark place, which was odd. And then now here, the wizard is just an alternate personality and mentions Alice, and you know that there's 7 of them, and there's only 7 characters. So you know what I mean? Stop! For the first time, she rejected me. Were my impressions really that bad? I'm a failure. Defective. It's just like he said. I have no defining identity. Even though he made me this way on purpose. But it's no use. Try as I might, you always see right through my act. I guess I really am a failure. You don't understand at all, do you? She gave me a pitying look. I looked at her dubiously as I waited for her to continue. No matter what mask I wear, I'm still me. Is it really that strange to put an effort to get someone like you... Oh. Is it really that strange to put an effort to get someone you like to like you back? I'm not sure. Then think about it. At her command, I nodded on reflex. Okay then, I'll think about it. With that, I started to move off of her, but her eyes, her lips, wouldn't let me go. Well, shall we continue? Personally, I'm fine either way. I smiled faintly. I was acting confident, but it was really just a bluff. After all, if this was a game, then I wanted to win. She stared at me unblinking, and after a long moment, her glistening lips slowly moved. If you don't have anything, then you can have me. And in return, I want you. You're my property. You're going to make all my desires and demands a reality. Who died and made you queen? Touché. You can turn me down if you like. No, I won't. I'm at your disposal, your majesty. Which, I mean, kind of also explains, like, the way he said things at the end of Snow White's route. Like, I just do what she tells me to. You know what I mean? A sweet, intoxicating warmth spread deep in my chest, numbing my senses. I leaned in and kissed her again. Oh, and like we do get frizzy. Like, I mean, hi, we've been a good girl except for with the wizard. So I mean, like, maybe we were right. Maybe he wasn't like we slept together. Oh, like slept. No, like we boned him, apparently. But like she didn't do that with anybody else. I was like, okay, but hi, wizard. Oh, well. And so I stopped wearing a mask around her. I had only impersonated the others to mess with her. Now that she knew my true identity, I realized, belatedly, that there was no point in maintaining the facade. Okay, so this is all of his backstory. As usual, when I next appeared before her, we played chess. You know that pitch black world you guys live in? You think maybe it's sort of like a dream? She murmured quietly as she looked at the chessboard. Once again, I was slowly closing in on her white king. I read that in most cases, the people and places that appear in your dreams are taken wholesale from your past. In response to internal and external stimuli and the emotional response caused thereof, memories are replayed from mental storage, and our brains invent a narrative to go along with it. Maybe this way I can finally make a difference. What do you mean? Well, maybe I can save my prince. Her prince, she said. And she didn't mean me. Hey. She looked up and locked eyes with me. Do you think? Because like, she doesn't mean me. Okay, so like maybe in the whole overarching, it's Alice that we're trying to save. But like in this particular story, I feel like it is the wizard that she's in love with. Because otherwise it's weird. Like, actually, I was totally in love with Alice and you just stole me away from him. That kind of makes me feel bad for the wizard. Like, dude, it's bad enough he had the whole route he had to share with everybody else. And now you're going to be like, I mean, I guess you're all right. Like, second place? You know? So I kind of feel like he's like, oh, she's just not talking about me. She doesn't mean me. And she's like, duh, stupid. Yes, I fucking do, you idiot. You know what I mean? That I would feel better about that if that was the case, but we'll find out. Then, out of nowhere, her face filled my vision. I could feel her damp breath against my lips. Her crystalline eyes reflected someone who wasn't me. They were so beautiful, they fanned the flames of my lust until I was desperate to steal her for myself. I'm gonna guess the reflection in your eyes is Alice. You know what I mean? I do really think that we're leading to that in Alice's, but... Checkmate! I win! She pulled away from me with a smirk. She'd spun the board around. Now she was black and I was white. You cheated. As I stared in shock, she shot me a wink. I'll do anything it takes to win. You're kind of a devious little bitch, and I kind of love it. And then a few days later, I suddenly found myself unable to travel to the other side of the mirror. It's no use. He won't wake up. What a hopeless little king. Or prince, I suppose. None of the other characters noticed. Like the prince, they were all asleep. They were all so delicate and fragile and traumatized. All alone in a world of darkness. This was where they were born. Where they jumped down through the looking glass. Now tell me, what's your name? What's your name? Answer me, Alistair. Alistair. Oh, is that Alice's name? Alistair? I love it. Or is that the wizard's name? I would assume it's Alice, but... It's no use. The project is a failure. He's trying to create a unified personality to serve as a near replacement for the original. He's clearly different from other personalities. He remembers almost everything. He got all of their knowledge and none of their flaws. He's the closest match to the original. So the wizard is the closest match to the original personality of Alice? Or is... Oh, the wizard is another... Wait a minute, this is so bizarre. I mean, who knows? I don't know where it's really going, but... So why isn't it working? Stupid failure. So maybe the wizard is Alistair, and Alice isn't Alistair, Alice is Alice. Alice is another personality inside of the wizard? I don't know. Don't you think that's a little harsh? Oh, he can't hear me anyway. He has no emotions. He's completely numb. This concludes today's treatment. But I have many other patients who need my help. Can't afford to spend all my time dealing with him. And that's why all the other, like, characters in our brain remember, like, he abandoned us. What's your plan for him going forward? Which one do you mean? The real him or the empty husk lying here? Both? The problem will solve itself. As he grows weaker, he'll stop showing himself, and then he'll be absorbed into one of the other personalities. As for the boy himself, I hate to say it, but I think it's best we give up on unifying his personalities. The burden on him would be too large. Done all I can, but he's just not suited for the role. But I'm not Alistair. I'm wondering if Alice is. I thought I was just a pawn. Flawless and invincible. As one who could shoulder all their pain without batting a lash, I alone was fit for the king's throne. And besides, if this world was a dream and I knew it to be so, then I had total command of the playing field. Just like a queen. In that case, all I need to do is hunt down the king and checkmate him. As I contemplated this, I heard a familiar voice in the darkness. Can you hear me? It's her. Can you hear my voice? Yes, don't worry. I hear you loud and clear. Why? Her voice was trembling. I thought back to her tears. The tears only I knew. What about you? Why are you crying? Please, wake up. Alistair! After I was trapped in the looking-glass world, I realized, as the all-powerful wizard, I was a pawn who could never become a king. Oh, the sad poor like that's. You're like, oh, I feel really bad. You're like trapped in possibly Alice's body. Oh, wizard. Once again, I could hear a voice through the cloudy mirror. The mirror being the eyes. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Yes, I hear you. I have a favor to ask. Something only you can do. Mr. Wizard. That was when she called my name for the first time. Let's pretend we're kings and queens. Let's play pretend. Oh! Oh my god, I love this CG. I just love him. Like, oh, I'll swear my fealty to my queen. And we're gonna crown him. Oh, it's so beautiful. He's so adorable. I love him so much. I kind of hurt for him because I'm like, you're just trapped in someone else's brain. Like, you poor thing. Oh, I feel for you. Anyway. I'll be the... Omi-sama? Ohime-sama. Ohime-sama? Ohime-sama? Princess. Look, it took a minute. I was like, wait. Ohime-sama. Yeah. The sama part's easy. It's the ohime part that's hard. Anyway. Mahotsukai? Mahotsukai? You'll be the Mahotsukai. Wizard. Okay, sure. Look. Not a king and queen? I've already picked a setting, too. It's set in the Looking-Glass world where everything is topsy-turvy. Amid a colorful cast of gender-flipped fairy tale characters. Game is a little too self-aware, and it weirds me out. I'll take on the role of the heroine and join them in their twisted tales. How will the story end? It's up to me. Since there's no script, even I don't know what will happen. And it's kind of like, then you say, like, okay, so this is like, say, the end. Forget Alice's route for a second. And like, okay, they're all personalities inside of this head, and we're going into the Looking-Glass where we're playing pretend, and we're doing this. And that's why the wizard is the one that comes along and is like, oh, I'm going to have to kill you. You're going to have to start over. Oh, you chose wrong. And it gets darker and darker as it goes. But then, like, Snow White is asleep. you know? And then like all their stories kind of coming out here where like they're all just personalities inside of this other body, and it's the wizard story, okay, but then we're gonna go into Alice and be like, and all of that we kind of, all these pieces, so we have these like 6 technically tentacly pieces, but 5 of them kind of came together here. Loose threads all over the place, but this is where we started to tie them into the knot, and then we stuffed them into Alice's brain and went, but that's where they all go. What? Holy shit! like you're starting to slowly take each piece and starting to braid it together, you know, and you're like, when we finally intertwine all these, where are we going to end up? Oh my god, they're all in kind of a knot here in Wizard, but they're going to come up into a neat fucking bow. But when you pull it, neat bow in Alice. Fucking amazing. Kind of enjoy this. I kind of didn't see like any of that coming, because you're like, each one's its own route until you get here, and then you're like, I mean, I knew there was going to be an overarching kind of plot thing that with Alice and like whatever, but shit. You didn't know it was unraveling until you got to this point, and then you're like, oh, the fuck? Brilliantly done. I mean, I didn't anyway, so. Since there's no script, even I don't know what will happen. But I know what I want the ending to look like, and that's all that matters. You see, I really love happy endings. But you knew that, didn't you? News to me. You see, the wizard has a very important role. Sometimes an ally, sometimes an enemy, the bearer of great and mysterious power. Exactly what he said at the end of Snow White's Route, you know what I mean? So in other words, you want to use me like a pawn. You'll be the little pawn who keeps the story moving. And when I mess up, I want you to kill me. The story can only have one heroine, otherwise it'll veer off track. So you'd have me undo the mistakes. Piece of cake for a guy like you, right? I feel like this is supposed to be, see, we were just leading you to being your best you, wizard! And now we're in love with you, and this is where the story's gonna end, but then we go into, like, Alice's route, and it's gonna be like, we gave the wizard a role to help Alice become Alice again. Like, as you wish. After all, you're my strongest piece. But of course, I am your wizard. If you so desire, your majesty, I shall become whatever piece you need. Queen, rook, bishop, or knight. I would do anything if it meant she needed me. She was the white pawn, always moving forward. Sometimes I would clear her path, and other times I would block it. That was my duty, but also my aspiration. Now then, let the story begin. And he's so happy to play along. Oh. After I woke from the dream, I stepped outside for some fresh air. A waxing gibbous moon hung in the pitch-black sky. Lovely moon tonight. Indeed. I looked over my shoulder. In place of a greeting, the wizard shrugged at me. Now then, Lady Risu, how about it? Ready to make your choice? We were both sick to death of this conversation. Looking back, it was a fitting metaphor for our relationship. Detective and client. I had hired him to gather intel on the men I loved. Cinderella, Snow White, Red Riding Hood, Kaguya, Gretel. Over the past few days, I had dug deep into their brotherly ties and old drama, knowing full well that it would hurt them. Or maybe I only barely scratched the surface. They were fragile, flawed creatures, eternally agonizing over things that happened in their pasts. They were lost in a world of darkness, waiting for someone to find them. And now that I knew the truth, it was time to lay my feelings aside and put an end to this story once and for all. Are you finally prepared to choose someone? Oh shit, maybe this is where we should have saved. Hold on. Maybe this was our save. I'm going to save over here. Oh no, whoops, it should be here. That's where, okay. I'm not sure because we say it, okay. So like, because like I said that in the one part when we saved, I was like, we did a save file, then we do no. We create another save file and we do no. The second choice, but then in the bad endings, the second choice is yes, and then you choose someone. So maybe if we say no, but see, we would create a save file here, and then we would have 2 choices. You know what I mean? But maybe that's because where I saved the last time, if we say yes, then we get the prompt for who we choose, and we don't get to this point. You know what I mean? Because we get a different ending. So I don't know. I've made this just in case, so we're fine. But we're supposed to say no at any rate. No. I slowly shook my head. I see. I had a dream. In the dream, I was the wizard, reflecting on the past. In the dream, I didn't realize that I was me. But when I awoke, I was Spacey Arisu. Was I really Spacey Arisu, dreaming I was the wizard? Or was I actually the wizard, dreaming that I was Spacey Arisu? What was reality? It turned out the same, whatever the case. Probably gonna end up dead. During the dream, I had learned of the wizard's pain. And now that the dream was over, I found I loved him dearly. Enough of this, Spacey Arisu. I know what you're trying to do. But I'm him, and he's me. And although you are me, I'm still me. So now it's my turn. That was confusing. In the end, you still can't choose. Do you want to die? Of course not. But I refuse to be anyone's pawn. And that's why you refuse to choose. You must be dumber than I thought. I mean, this way you're just going to die anyway. And once you're dead, it's game over. It's a bad ending. That's why you came for me. You're the one who sent the blackmail letter. Isn't that right, Mr. Wizard? Yes, that's right. Kind of knew that in the last part. I mean, kind of wondered. It could have been anybody. But it's the wizard's round, then it's like, oh, it makes sense that it would be him. Choose someone or I'll kill you. Because that's his role. And, she knew in that last part, too. Why would you do this? Because I wanted to guide you to a happy ending with one of them. But you failed. How unfortunate. Anytime I fail, I can simply try again. And then what? Force another happy ending? Sounds like a crappy story. I'm not the storyteller. I'm merely an actor. Right. The storyteller is someone else. About your special someone. I think I know her. Yes, you do. She's a cruel person, just like you said. She uses people like pawns, anything to achieve her goal. And her goal is to heal the man she loves. Her thoughts have only ever been of him. She's utterly hopeless, but for some reason I can relate. Enough. I was willing to wait for you to make your choice, but if you can't do it, then I have no need of you. Is that your actual character? No. I have no set characteristics beyond what immediately serves the plot. My name is the Wizard. You see, the Wizard has a very important role. Sometimes an ally, sometimes an enemy, the bearer of great and mysterious power. Are you going to kill me because I couldn't heal anyone? Yes, I am. I will kill you, and then someday, she'll kill you back? Yes, that's right. That's my love story. Because Alice is the person that she's trying to save, and we're gonna have to kill every one of these characters to get Alice to be Alice. And it's the role she wants me to play. Is our happy ending... Oh, hi. I mean, I don't mind the wizard on top of me, but I hope he's not going to kill me. Not going to struggle? Aren't you afraid of dying? Of course I am, but I'm not afraid of you. Oh, really? Not going to ask me why that is? Why can't it... Well, click! God damn my mouse! Nope, it doesn't matter to me. Gotcha. That's a shame. Okay then, let me ask you. Why do you think she'll kill you? Because she loves someone else. Alistair? Correct. I'm impressed. Where did you learn that? I saw it in a dream I had. A dream in a dream. And then I suppose you know everything. Not everything, no. Just large swaths of important memories. Thanks to that, I've realized what I need to do. The role I was given. You are rather sharp. Alistair, he's the almighty creator of this dream world, isn't he? Yes, that's right. As you know, this world is a dream. His dream. Again, we're leading to Alice, right? And we're merely characters within it. Here in the dream, we have bodies of our own. When we awaken and return to reality, we remain inside Alistair's head, attached to Alistair's body, trapped in Alistair's life. That's that dark place. We have no identities of our own. After all, we're simply his personalities. So it sounds like we're a personality inside of Alice's head too. Maybe we're a real person that he saw. You know what I mean? The way it worked in Snow White's, where like, he's like, but you're not real. You're like, but I kind of am, because we jumped into the Looking Glass world and then went into your nightmare. But when you came out of your nightmare, I was really in the Looking Glass world. That's supposedly where we were. It was actually a dream and a dream and a dream, but like, whatever. This is trippy and I love it. Dissociative identity disorder, or DID for short. Correct. Alistair was weak of heart. He dissociated to escape from the tragedies inflicted upon him. The first character he created was Cinderella. Abandoned by his father, he went from a life of privilege to a life of poverty, and he hated it. The second was Snow White. His mother loved princesses, and he wanted her to love him too. The third was Red Riding Hood. His mother tried to keep him locked up, but he yearned for the outside world. Fourth was Kaguya, created to help him endure the abuse from his relatives. All of them were based around fairy tale characters, his mother's influence at work, I imagine. Each of them looked at their circumstances and named themselves after the fairy tale character that fit best. After that, the fifth to be created was me. But I was a bit of a special case because Alistair wasn't the one who created me. Remember the hunter you spoke with? Remember what he said? I'm a perfect amalgamation created by that same psychologist. My role was to unite the others so that Alistair might live a normal, healthy life. To that end, I was given everyone's memories and made numb to the pain. According to the doctor, I was perfect. He said I was the closest match to the original personality. Then the doctor asked me for my name. He wanted me to say Alistair, but I couldn't answer. After all, I wasn't really Alistair. And so, as a result of my silence, the doctor deemed me a failure. Why are you crying? Because I feel so bad for you. That's what she said too. Don't feel sad. For the record, I don't resent the doctor. If anything, I'm grateful to him. Without him, I wouldn't exist. And without him, I wouldn't have met Spacey Arisu. Abandoned by his attending physician, Alistair was brought to the Arisu estate. And that was when you, all of you, oh, that's me. And that was when you, all of you met Spacey Arisu? Yep. Because Ryoshi, remember? He's like a brain doctor and we're like, we're all crazy. We're kind of all crazy. We're actually just all people inside of a crazy person's head. That's kind of fun. So Spacey, us, might actually really exist. She's talking to Alice, and then each one of the personalities is popping out. You know what I mean? But the wizard, unless we're trying to say that... Why is my mouse off? My mouse battery cannot be dead. I literally just changed it like 2 days ago. Maybe like a week. But like, Jesus. Maybe that's why it's like, maybe this battery's not good. I don't know. But like, I feel if that's the way it's going, then it's like, or Alice is another character inside of the wizard's head, and the wizard really is actually Alistair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But we'll find out when it gets to the end, but I feel like maybe we're actually all in Alice's head and it's leaning that way, you know? Because it kind of makes sense if you get to this point and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like how everything's weird and wonky and strange and it's the Looking Glass world and it makes sense how we start out in the dark place, you know? I don't know. As I'm sure you can guess, it was then that Gretel was created. He was born of an inferiority complex toward the seemingly perfect Spacey Arisu. And that's why he's always our brother and sister. Spacey Artisu made every attempt to make us feel at home. She adapted herself to our interests and preferences, all so we would like her. She tried to understand us more than anyone else. But she failed, huh? Yes, she did. Spacey Artisu failed to achieve a precise understanding of their pain and suffering. And that applied to the main personality, Alistair, too. I seriously wonder if we're talking about Alistair now. I'm like, are we talking about the wizard? And you're like, but you really are Alistair, wizard. You really are him. You just are trying to hide behind these masks because you don't want to admit your own pain. And he's like, no, like he's in denial. You know what I mean? It would make sense, but we'll see. And then he went down the rabbit hole into the looking glass world. And what a hassle it's been for me. Cut off from the real world, I could no longer see my beloved. But that applied to Spacey Artisu, too. In her grief, she hatched a ridiculous plan to create a new personality inside Alistair, named Spacey Artisu. Then she would use her as a conduit in order to speak to us from the real world. You're a character Spacey Artisu created in order to rescue her prince from the looking glass world. Your existence is based on Alistair's memories of her, plus the real Spacey Artisu speaking to us from the real world. You're nothing but a clone. I say what you want me to say, but my thoughts are Spacey Artisu's words. So what does that make me? A pawn? You're a canary in the coal mine. You're her puppet. She created you and she controls you. At the story's branching points, you make choices and progress to the happy ending. One wrong choice and you're disposed of. The story can only have one heroine, otherwise it'll veer off track. And I'm the one who disposes of you. After you're gone, she creates a new clone and continues the story where she left off. I mean, in essence, I really love what they did here. They're like, because that's kind of what happens. You stop. That character now ending no longer exists, and you bounce back to where you were, and it's essentially, well, it's like you're creating oh my god, it's horrifying. But it's kind of, yeah, I mean, it makes logical sense, and it's scary. It's trippy, I love it. How heartless. I'm inclined to agree. So why does she want to get to the happy ending so badly? To wake Alistair from his dream, of course. And you? I won't be there. Nor will Cinderella, or Snow White, or Red Riding Hood, or Kaguya, or Gretel. Once Alistair's all alone, he'll return to his body in the real world, and he and Spacey Artisu will live happily ever after. One body, one soul, one personality. And that is how humans are meant to be. And you're fine with that? You're fine with her using you and throwing you away like yesterday's trash? Sure, I don't mind. If it's what she wants, then so be it. The poor wizard! You deserve so much better than me! What about the clone of me? I'm better. You must really love her. Yeah, I do. I love her more than words can express. Then why don't you just kill the others and take her for yourself? Why didn't you? Sorry. Alistair, Cinderella, Snow White, Red Riding Hood, Kaguya, Gretel, me? You could have killed all of us and taken everything for yourself. His body, his mind, his life, everything. That way you'd reap all the rewards. But you couldn't do it, because that's just not the kind of person you are. You were scared that she might hate you for it. You weren't sure she would love you. After all, you don't understand how she ticks. Turns out you're actually a lot more cowardly than I thought. You don't know the first thing about me. Love the way he's glaring at us. It's sexy as fuck. Sure I do. I'm part of you, you know. Right. Good point. You live here in Alistair's mind, just like the rest of us. And that's why you can't bring yourself to just accept me. Well, I think it's about time to end this. I don't want to die. I'm afraid you don't have a choice. It's unfortunate, but I love you. What? I love you. And I want to heal you. Good grief. I wasn't expecting you to start begging for your life. Are you really Spacey Artisu? Of course. Well, the Spacey Orisu I know would never say something like that. And then I guess I'm the Spacey Orisu you don't know. Are you saying she was wearing a mask around me? I suppose so, but now the cat's out of the bag. Anyway, like I said, I love you and I want to heal you. Therefore, letting you live is my salvation? Yeah. Don't be absurd. You're not her. You're not the one I love. I know that. You'll never be my first priority. How about your second? Can't promise that either, despite what you think. Well, despite what you may think, I'm very monogamous. I'd never cheat. Okay then, go ahead and hate me if you want. But in exchange, let me stay by your side. I'm not stupid enough to hang around with someone I hate. Then, just knock it off, would you? I haven't earned your love. For that matter, weren't you originally in love with the others? But now you want to switch to me instead? Don't you think you're ruining the entire setup of the story? Am I, though? You're the one who refuses to change your mind, despite all the foreshadowing and all of our scenes together. I love how trippy this is. You're like, this is weird, and I love it. Sorry, but I love someone else. That's fine. It can be my one-sided crush. Because this is your story. Didn't you figure it out a long time ago? It was never about them. It was about you. If this is my story, then what'll happen to the other brothers? Will you abandon them? They'll find their happy endings in other stories. Stories where I'm devoted to each of them individually. So in my story, you're devoted to me. Sonotori. Bingo! You're my prince, Mr. Wizard. No, I'm not. Right, of course. You want to be her prince, not mine. No, I'm the wizard. All right. Then why not make me your familiar? They say cats and witches go hand in hand. I'll wear whatever mask I have to in order to stay with you. So the cat and all the other routes was me? Was us? Staying by his side, so then if you went right back now and played Cinderella's route and the cat was really us? Ooh, we created multiple... That's wizard that goes against everything you stood for. Weird. You're going to don a disguise. Sure, why not? There's no harm in working hard for your love. Besides, you're good at chess, so you ought to know. The pawn may be the weakest piece, but it has a secret power. Promotion. If it reaches the opponent's side of the board, it can be converted into a different piece. A rook, a bishop, a knight, a queen? Sure, but it can never be a king. Nor can we. I don't want you to heal me. I don't need a knockoff. I want the real her. I know that. The Spacey Orisu you love is the real, physical human being. You make it sound like I only love her body. Can't I love her for her personality? Sure you can. At the very least, I know for a fact that Spacey Orisu loved you that way. After all, you don't have a body. But I can understand how she feels. Oh, Mr. Wizard, you were trapped inside Alistair's body, in his mind, in his life. Of course she loved you. And she wanted to heal you. Then why did she call for Alistair and not me? Silly little heroine. You can keep telling me what I want to hear, but it won't save you. Your voice won't reach me, just like mine won't reach her. I always knew who her top priority truly was. When we first fell down this rabbit hole, she called me his name first. She loves Alistair, not me. And why won't he wake from this dream? Well, probably because her voice can't reach him. Like, I get confused. I'm like, is Alice Alistair? Is the wizard actually Alistair and he's just in denial and he's like, she only loves him. You do realize that you are him, right? Like, I'm wondering if that's where it's going. Like, I'm not really sure. I'm like a ping pong ball. Is it going this way, this way, this way, this way? Oh my God, my eyes hurt from like bouncing back and forth. Like, I'm getting dizzy. So you're saying he doesn't love her back? Yeah, exactly. Ironic, isn't it? We're all stuck in a giant one-sided love triangle. Yeah. When I asked you if your crush was painful for you, you told me no. You said she gave you everything you needed, physically and emotionally. But you were lying, weren't you? Yeah, that's right. I lied to your face. You wanted Spacey Orisu for yourself. You wanted her to focus entirely on you. Just like everyone else. You wanted Spacey Orisu to choose you. Yeah, that's right. I wanted her to choose me. You said I should have simply killed off my rivals, but if she called my name at that one moment, I probably would have. Anything to wake up again. When she called for Alistair instead of me, I felt pain for the first time. I was made to be immune to pain, but not to heartbreak, apparently. Oh, come on. It's a little early to throw in the towel, don't you think? What? I mean, think about it. Alistair doesn't love her back, right? Doesn't that mean you still have a chance? So you're saying I should steal her away? Yeah? I mean, you could just win her over. I'll support you the whole way. And I'll do whatever I can to help it work out between you two. So don't kill me. Keep me around. I promise I'll be useful. I'm not Spacey Orisu, but I am her shadow. You realize if she returned my feelings, I'd turn around and ditch you, right? Go for it. I might forget you entirely. If that's what you want, then knock yourself out. I'm sure Spacey Orisu would want that. You don't care if you vanish? The me that's inside of you will vanish, yeah. But I'll be in Spacey Orisu's memories. She won't forget me. She'll remember that I existed. There's no need to be sad about it. I'll just go back to where I came from. Her mind. I can't be your special someone, Mr. Wizard, but I can be there for you. After all, we're both in the same boat. I didn't want it to turn out like this. Does she really think this will heal me? Who knows? You, I would imagine. You're half her, aren't you? But I'm also half not. Maybe the Spacey Orisu I wanted was an imposter all along. She adapted her behavior to suit my tastes, so maybe I fell in love with a lie. Come on, that's not true. You must be dumber than I thought. Any girl would change herself to get the one she loves to love her back. So for now, can I at least get that rematch? I've really been looking forward to playing chess with you again. Fine. Have it your way, little heroine. Like, I seriously wonder how this is going to end because I don't feel like this is a happy ending. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel happy to me. It's like very like, oh, okay, well, we love the wizard, but he hates us because he actually loves her and she's kind of a bit, and like, I just don't feel warm and fuzzy about this. And I love the wizard. I think it's a disappointment. Anyway. Is this the wizard story or us? I don't know. I'm just going to read normal. So this is my story. A story not even you know about. A sixth personality? Yeah. I had no idea. Yeah, because I didn't tell you. Why did you keep it from me all this time? Because he's already gone. He died? Yeah. Why? He was too weak. Didn't even have a name of his own. Did you get to meet him? Yeah, just once. What was he like? It was a guy, right? I said he, didn't I? Interesting. He had all their memories and knowledge with none of the flaws. According to the doctor who created him, at least. But he lacked emotions and his senses were numb. I saw it for myself. Unlike the others, he had no identity. That's strange. How can anyone not have emotions? Good question. So what made you decide to tell me? Just felt like it. I learned of you through my older brother. Unlike the others, you didn't even have a name, and that made me curious. My brother told me you had died, but I wasn't so sure. It is Alice. So we're all just characters in Alice's head. That makes me kind of sad, though. I feel like the wizard did, like, everyone else kind of got around in an ending, and then, yes, okay, we're all imaginary people inside of Alice's head. Fine. But they all got their happy endings, and, like, the wizard really kind of didn't. You know what I mean? So it makes me sad, because I love the wizard so much, and they kind of, like, they did him dirty, I feel like. I still love it, but I just feel sad for him, you know? So I waited until you-know-who was asleep, then called out to you. Nice to meet you. My name is... Well, you probably already know. I know all about you. Would you tell me your name? But you didn't answer. Nevertheless, I refused to give up. As you've noticed, I'm a very competitive person. My brother told me you know the whole story. But no one knows about you, huh? They all think you disappeared. Or maybe they think you never existed to begin with. I do love this CG. It's like so sad because like she's looking at him. He's just in this head, just like listening intently to her. It's like, it's so sad, but beautiful, but sad. Even though you're literally right here. I'm the only one who knows about you. Can you hear me? Where are you? I searched for you. I was sure that as long as our hearts both wanted it, we'd find each other. Are you getting sick of me yet? Trust me, I know I'm being annoying. But that's just who I am. And if I was anyone else, I wouldn't be here right now. You see, there's this person who I love very much. He told me he loves me too. I didn't love myself, but that didn't matter to him. He said to me, I love your gemstone eyes and soft fluffy hair. It's what makes you, you. Do you know who that person was? I knew you were right there the whole time, playing possum. And I refused to give up on you. What's brought you to my room, Poppet? It's so funny. It's Alice. So, I mean, this is basically like, okay, so you know what's going to happen in Alice's route. We all just, like, he's just crazy. He's got multiple personalities to deal with all the stress and his trauma. And so, like, we're going to have to fix him. But, like, it's kind of sad, but, I like it. I love that idea, but I just wish it had kind of only come out in Alice's route. Unless Alice isn't going to be a whole story, it's just going to be kind of almost like an epilogue type of a thing. And not going to be like a full route like these are. Because for me, it feels weird that every other one kind of like little things were coming out and you're like, this is weird, this is a dream, this is strange. And like the wizard's here to kill you. And like they're part of the overarching story that you know nothing about, but everyone's it's self-contained. But the wizard is like, okay, but like his is basically Alice's story. And it's like, he's just overshadowed by the whole overarching plot. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like if it was done differently, like the wizard could have had a story and we're like, you're just here to further my love for one of them, but I love you. And then, okay, instead of revealing all of this, and then that all kind of gets revealed in Alice where you're like, oh, we were all fake. But like now you know, and it makes me feel sad for the wizard because I just feel like his whole route, everything about him is overshadowed by Alice. You know what I mean? So like, anyway. I'm just going to read like the wizard voice that I gave it, not like in every, because I don't know who he's being. I wish it had been like Wizard Kaguya. Like Wizard Cinderella so that we knew. You know what I mean? Kaguya? Okay, so we're still like... Can you imagine Alice saying anything like, slipping into a young man's room for a late night tryst? What a naughty girl. Yeah, that's right. You're just so damn charming I couldn't help myself. Shameful, I know. She didn't say damn. I read that in there. Whoops. Anyway, want to chat? Sure thing. I thought it was just a coincidence at first. Come in. Sister. Every time I visited his room, one of them would greet me. Hi there, Gretel. Up late studying? You could say that. I actually got a yawn now because we read it. I can't read the word yawn without yawning. Are you tired? Want to rest your head in sister's lap? Would that be okay? Of course. I didn't immediately realize that you were impersonating the others. You were always so confident and self-assured. But that was what set you apart from the rest of them. Say, Gretel? What is it? How long are you going to keep up the act? What are you talking about? Never mind. I was playing a game with you, a game of chess. We were both trying to catch each other. And as you know, white always goes first. Can you hear me? I can hear you all right. The hell are you doing coming into a guy's room at night? You were smart, a quick thinker. Unlike me, the aggressive type, you preferred to sit back and observe your opponent before making your move. If I was a white pawn who could only move forward, then you were a black queen with full command of the board. Well, you see... You trying to put the moves on me while I'm asleep? That's a little much even for you. Sometimes us girls gotta be aggressive. Are you like this with all the guys? Of course not. Just the one I love. And he thinks she loves Alice, but she loves the wizard. But the weird thing is like, when did he ever tell us that he loved our gemstone eyes and all that? You know what I mean? Like, well, actually he did. Because she's like, remember he said that? He's like, it was me. I said it. So, like, he remembers saying it at some point, so. Are you actually mad at me or are you just joking? Because I'm just guessing. So she didn't know that that personality existed. Right? Yeah, the doctor said he was defective, but she's like, huh. But she might have realized that maybe he wasn't there because, yeah, I love your gemstone eyes, whatever. Not realizing at the time that the personality that said that was the wizard. You know what I mean? So maybe Alistair is really the wizard. Like, that's the name we gave him and he doesn't realize it. I don't know. We'll find out. But it'd just be really sad if our end is like, I don't love you, I love her, and like, whatever, I guess you can be my cat. I'm like, that kind of a bittersweet ending, but alright, anyway. Are you actually mad at me or are you just joking? Take a guess. That's why I'd act quickly if I wanted you to fall into my trap. You're getting lazy. What? You're good at impersonating people, but you'll never hold a candle to the real deal. Cinderella would never say that, which means you're not him. How exactly can you tell? Good question. Who knows? What about you? Why are you impersonating them? I'm not sure if I actually beat you that day or if you simply let me win. But either way, I still won. Is that a crime? Oh, I get it. This time you're Red Riding Hood. No one else has ever recognized that it was me. Except for you. Of course I would recognize you. No matter what mask you wear, you're still you. Wait. You can play chess? I didn't know that. You're actually not all that crafty, are you? Didn't you realize I messed it up on purpose? No, I did not. How do you feel? Like an idiot. Well then, why don't we play around? That'll help you feel better. That being said, I hope you're prepared to lose. This is going to go on for a while because we're not quite at the same, but we're going to go through all the same things that he saw we're doing from her perspective. So this is going to have a few more turns and we're almost at time and we've been going over time at all of his route. So I don't want to be like an hour and 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop here and we'll continue in the next part and maybe we'll get our ending in the next part. We'll see how long these little flash things go. And see, but we're definitely closer, so... I mean, that's what I figured. I'm like, we have to do a lot of backstory, but I didn't realize the backstory was going to be just this. I feel like there's still more about him. Well, I mean, I guess we know he's just a made-up personality in Alice's head. We all are. But I'm just curious how this works out, because the way this is heading, or like our last conversation with the wizard before we got into these memories, is just not... it just doesn't feel that happy to me as a happy ending, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I guess it's kind of like, one-sided love that makes me feel sad, but anyway, we'll see what happens. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.